welcome back. Now, next Saturday, we'll see thousands of people take to the streets all around the country to celebrate Pride 2018, an event that has been growing bigger each year since the very first Dublin parade back in 1983.
And joining us now with the lowdown on what's on during this year's festival is Eddie McGuinness from Dublin Pride. You're very welcome. Good morning to you, Eddie.
Thank you very much.
Eddie.
And the sun is shining and the flags are all over the city. The rainbow flag is flying along
and
the
you've
city.
thankfully decorated our studio here
Yes,
as
of
well.
course.
Are you upset if you didn't?
This is handmade crafts from County Mayo.
Beautiful.
A young lad, what you call it, Gary, over in Mayo, and we're selling them in our first ever Pride shop on Clarendon Street.
That's a great
pop-up
idea.
shop. It's information point, you name it, and we have it coloured in full colour of rainbows outside.
Eddie, it's really busy. It's not even just a few days. It's a 9-10-day event and festival now, Dublin Pride. So talk to us about what people can expect to see this week.
They can expect an awful lot this year. We've a 10-day festival with 47 different events, from arts, photography, to even a gaily, which is a kind of a ceilidh with a little twist.
Gaily.
Yes, and that's in Panty Bar on Thursday. We also have, which I was showing you earlier on, is a day in May, which is tonight and tomorrow in the Olympia Theatre, and which is a fundraiser towards Pieta House, which will then go on to belong to the two organisations coming together around the issue of LGBT plus
This is a play based on the book which Charlie Bird did, collecting stories from the referendum vote in 2015.
The lead up to the referendum and after it, it really goes back. Some of the stories go right the whole way back to pre-83. And pre-83, we have to remember, is 35 years ago was our first ever Pride Parade. And that was after the issue around Declan Flynn was killed in Fairview Park and the judgment, what happened there. Not only the women's coalition came together, plus the unions came together, plus a few back then was a very scared time in 83 for both gay and lesbian individuals. And we have to realise is, back then, you were afraid to speak out. And only a handful of people did. And they came together and marched for the first time ever from Liberty Hall to Fairview. And there was actually more guards than there were protesters back then.
And back then, Eddie, it was wasn't a celebration, it wasn't a festival, it was a march. And now it's changed into this fabulous festival, and yet you're always so mindful of past events, the horrific events, and also, you know, contemporaries around the world.
We are always asked is, why do we need Pride? We need Pride because even if it means one person can't come out, no matter who they are, their sexuality, their gender, it's all intertwined. And also at the same time, we have to allow, yes, it's a celebration, but a celebration of who and what we are and where we have come from and the history of where we came from. Don't forget, it's only 25 years since our decriminalisation.
Well, you aged yourself terribly by telling us that your first Pride was 25 years ago, at 93, which was the year of decriminalisation. And we've seen in the news in the last week or so the apology for that. Is that something that means a lot, or is it a kind of a too little, too late, or is it, you know, how is it viewed? Is it viewed uniformly positively?
I think some people within the gay community feel that it isn't, doesn't go far enough, and some people go, yeah, this is good, this is a stepping stone. But everything is a stepping stone. But you have to realise, even this year, we're celebrating 100 years of the women's vote. And that is also another stepping stone within the rights of communities out there. And we have to really push these elements. And within the gay community, and I say the LGBT plus community, there's so many different issues that we have to constantly fight for and put on the table of the government as well as society. It's not just about the government changing the laws or making an apology. It's also the root right down into society and our communities.
Do you think there's a risk that maybe younger members of the community would think that, well, everything's grand and we've got this, we've got that now, and the broader community would think that, sure, that's all sorted now? The vote was done 3 years ago, nothing to worry about now.
No, we still have a lot more. Even on the fact is that 3 years ago, the same-sex marriage referendum happened. I'm lucky, I got civil partnered 5 years ago. I got my upgrade after it. And I used that word, an upgrade. But that was, we asked the people Could I get that upgrade?
Yeah.
But also today alone is we do a walking tour, a gay walking tour with Tony Walsh from the Queer Archive. But also separate to that is we're doing a talk to young people from Belong To about the history of Pride. And last year, for the first time ever, again, I'm the only paid employee of Pride, which is, we're now the biggest people parade in the British Isles. We're bigger than London.
So you haven't slept
You're
for
running
11
the whole
months.
thing.
Yeah,
exhausted,
something like
the poor
that.
fella.
Exhausted. But we have the battle again that we ourselves, what do you call it, have to look. And they're amazing photographs when you do look at it.
It's incredible footage
And last
there.
year, and I have to take my hat off, no matter politics aside, our Taoiseach, no matter what his sexuality and everything else is we have to realise that's what it's all about. It's about that flying the rainbow flag.
And sending
right
a powerful
across.
message. And Tommy mentioned there the young people and how important it is for you to ensure how aware they are
Yes.
of the struggle and the history, certainly in this country. But I'd be really interested to hear how older people feel. So those who potentially never were able to come out, felt they couldn't, people in very isolated areas. And they must be thrilled, but also an element of sadness that it didn't happen sooner.
I think something goes back to the play, what's going to be on tonight and tomorrow in the Olympia, is A Day in May shows the struggles those individuals had. And it's allowing, we're great as Irish people, we love telling stories. So this is an amazing way of telling those stories and allowing, so this play alone could go around the world to tell those Irish stories of the struggles. Like some of the stories are about suicide. I'm a survivor of suicide because I didn't want to be gay, because society wouldn't allow you to be gay. But due to the fact that I got the strength within me to be that. And if you look a year after that is I'm standing on the steps 25 years ago, celebrating, what do you call it, where I was. And 25 years later, I've had the pleasure, and I use it, and I always said the words, I have the pleasure of being the manager of Pride.
And I suppose
The
so much of the next week or so is about telling those stories
Yes.
over and over again. All details are available on the website in
Yes.
terms of events that are on,
everything's on,
leading up to the big.
on dublinpride.ie, and you can also download the PDF and our programme. Everything is all there.
There's loads
so
happening.
much, but most importantly is next week we want the people of Dublin and beyond to come to Dublin to watch the parade. Come and enjoy it.
It's going to be an incredible
Brilliant
party.
Amazing.
We all wanted
Best
the day
luck
off on
with it,
Sunday.
Eddie.
We weren't allowed.
We'll all need
Damn
the
it.
day off. I'm going to take the week off after.
Dead right, you need it to
deserve it.
sleep.
Well,
Thank you so
great
much.
stuff, Eddie.
And very
With
poignant
pleasure.
for this
And
year, so enjoy it.
thank you very much for
Thanks,
allowing
Eddie.
us.
Take
Cheers.
care. Still to come, from Love Hate to Redwater to Sing Street, actor Peter Campion will be stopping by.
Plus, we've a duck salad coming up in the kitchen in about 15 minutes. Stay with us.